Well, two fan-favorite Marvel heroes are stuck in a suburban nightmare world that would make Twin Peaks, fan of Twin Peaks rather, squeal with excitement. Cody is standing by with our favorite comics expert to learn more about the secret origins of Wandavision.
Yeah, Wandavision is great,
yes,
but it might be a little confusing or weird if you don't know a lot about where it came from in the comics or the MCU movies. The man that's forgotten more about that stuff is Ben Schwartz. Ben's joining us right now to talk a little bit about it. What do you think of the show so far?
I think the show is absolutely fantastic. They nailed it with what they were going for. And just like Guardians did for Marvel, where they showed they didn't have to do your typical superhero, they went way outside the box, gave us something completely new that fit perfectly with the characters, especially Scarlet Witch.
Yeah.
And I grew up watching reruns with my grandparents of Mary Tyler Moore, Lucy, Bewitched, and they nailed it. I was laughing the entire time I'm watching this show.
It's so interesting the way they did it. All right, so I asked you to find some comics that might help us explain a little bit about what's going on. What you got for me, buddy?
All right, so as far as comics that help explain what's going on in this thing, I got nothing. I don't know what's happening. There are theories just running around. Of course, Scarlet Witch's powers are above the board. They're like one of the most powerful mutants. The biggest theory is, of course, she's warping reality. They're being manipulated by somebody. But there's plenty of places you can go to find out more about these characters, and they just put this one out, which is some of the classic issues of them together so you can find out more about them. But one of the interesting things about this show is not knowing what's going on. It's just sprinkled with clues. Sword, the logo is in there. This is a new show coming from Marvel, as well as a new comic that just hit. It's going to be leading into Doctor Strange, which makes you think, what's going on? Is Clea going to show up? Is Dormammu going to be there? You just don't know. But the one that really, really hit me, and I am so excited about, and I'm hoping we can get, is the Beekeeper, which of course would be AIM, which could lead to my man MODOK.
Yes.
In the MCU. But this show is leading into so many different things. I mean, you've got Kate Bishop coming up. You've got Miss Marvel, Shang-Chi.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Marvel is just nailing this on the head, and they're doing what they always do so well, which is give us a long lead-in so that the payoff is just the most beautiful thing that we do.
Now, Ben, show them my favorite comic book of the last 5 years, the Vision run that went through. Go ahead, Ben. Show them.
I can't because even though we ordered heavy because of this show and I was excited, it flew off the shelves. We have more coming in, but what you want to read is a Tom King run about Vision, and they're living in suburbia, and he has created a family for himself to be normal as he can be. Ask your retailer for the Tom King Vision because it is a definitive Vision, and it's probably the best run of Vision ever.
Yeah, it's so good, but so heartbreaking. Like, you need to be in a place to read it because it's like all those things combined. Ben, the other thing, I wish you were here because we had to explain to John what WandaVision was, and Courtney and I explaining it to him was top shelf, baby, top shelf.
I thought it sounded interesting.
I think we might get him into it.
Yeah, he's interested.
He seems kind of interested.
I don't know any of the other comic book stuff behind it, but it sounds like an interesting premise.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Ben, anything else you're excited about in the comic book world right now?
There are. If we have a second, Eternals is another one. This is just how much they are dropping lately. Eternals is coming. Nobody knows about this, even comic fans. Nobody read Eternals until now, but they have a top name writer on the new comic. Of course, we got Black Widow, which they say they're not releasing digitally. I think they'll change their mind. I'll throw my money at that. Falcon and Winter Soldier.
I
think that's going to be a much more straightforward superhero one. Loki's getting his own.
Loki.
And one of the most interesting ones is What If? And What If is exactly that. You take any character in the Marvel Universe and then you say, what if? What if Peter Parker had been on the initial Fantastic Four shuttle when it hit the gamma rays? And you just have fun with the
And that What If is going to be animated. I'm excited about that. It looks beautiful already. And that was always my favorite thing. Because, you would argue with other comic fans, oh, what if so-and-so had this power? What if so-and-so? What could they do?
They solve it for us. They solve it. And one more quick thing back to him. I forgot. MODOK is getting an animated too with Patton Oswalt.
With Patton Oswalt, yeah.
Yes.
MODOK
It's just-
is the weirdest thing ever. I love it.
He is my favorite. Just a giant head, little
Floating
hands and
around.
legs, floating on a suspension.
Ben, how can folks get a hold of you if they want to check out your comic books and your comic book shop?
Of course, you can find us at empirescomics.com and on every social media at Empires Comics and 1120 Fulton Avenue. We're right here in Sacramento, open 7 days a week.
And they got pugs. Thank you so much, Ben. Empire's Comics
you,
Vault.
guys.
Check it out. The guy's the best.